Hi, my name is Caitlin Carter. This is the peer support number 5. That's the book resources for clients just dealing with loss and grief. The topic that I chose was how to explain death to children, and just talking about death and helping children cope with death in particular. I chose this topic because we experienced infant loss in my family when I was a child. I had a brother pass away when I was just before I turned 8. So I have some memories of that, and good ones and ones that that I'm kind of still working through differently now. But I definitely understand how important it is to talk to children and know how to help them cope and process death, because in our community and our just culture in general, it is our natural reaction to protect children, and that death is a scary thing, and therefore we need to protect children from it. And my family didn't. I lost a brother right before my 8th birthday, and then I actually lost a parent. I lost my mom right before I turned 10. And I'm very, while I still have a lot of things to work through, that this class has inspired me or forced me or whatever to work through. It has been really good for me. And I look back and I see things that my family did really well, and I see things that were not handled really well. But I definitely see the importance of that. The book that I chose is called Lifetimes, The Beautiful Way to Explain Death to Children. And this book just kind of goes through and explains, not everything is alive, not everything goes on living, and it's talking about plants and animals and, crabs and butterflies, and there's a beginning and an end, and everything that's in the middle is living. And then towards the end of the book, it goes on and talks about humans, and just that humans live for 60 or 70 years, sometimes longer, and they like doing all the things that people do, like growing up and being grown up. So the wording is very clear and simple. I really liked that about this book. I would highly recommend this to those of you dealing with children. This is something that I want to read with my children. I try to do a good job just talking about death, about pets, and we have farm animals and things like that. So that is a really good thing there. Part of what I wanted to share about my research in helping children with grief and loss, one of the reasons that I like this book is just that it should be clear and simple. Children need someone to listen to them and comfort them appropriately, just kind of whatever that means for that child. Sometimes naming emotions can be really helpful, and that all emotions are welcome. There are feelings of, sadness, but there's also feelings of anger and resentment and frustration, and that it's also okay to feel okay. It's okay to be happy, and it's okay to feel feelings of joy. And that I think in the mind of a child, or anyone really, a lot of things can become just jumbled and muddled, and it's hard to pick those things apart. So I feel like naming those emotions is important. Preparing a child, helping tell them what to expect, whether that is about death itself, or seeing a dead body, or funeral preparations, or graveside burial, any of that kind of stuff. And that can be hard dealing with pregnancy or loss, miscarriage or stillbirth, because sometimes we don't know what that's going to look like. But I guess the takeaway is helping the child be as prepared as possible, and giving the child a role if they want, can be helpful. Help them feel like they're a part of things. That might not be for everyone, obviously case dependent, and to help the child remember. It's easy for adults to say, maybe they'll forget, or maybe, if we just don't talk about it, it just kind of goes away. And that's not healthy for anyone. And I think that kind of my call to action is to talk about things, and don't just sweep things under the rug and hope that everything will be okay if it's just left alone. And just to be there for people, whether it is children or mothers or whoever is struggling with a loss, or however it is that they're processing it, and listen. I think that there's a lot to be heard and understood and learned and processed through talking about things, and just being there to listen. As part of my future practice as a midwife, I intend to provide very holistic care, and for me, a lot of that is families, involving everyone that wants to be involved, and that can be the little things, helping a child hear their siblings' heartbeat, or having a child help at the birth, just with whatever in whatever capacity that they're able or want to, and I believe that this follows through with grief and loss as well, and I just want to have that be part of my practice, that keeping in mind that the whole family is involved, that yes, the woman is my client, that she's the one that has experienced the loss, but that everyone else has experienced the loss as well, and that's really important to me. So I think that's everything. Thank you.